Faadu was a great experience.
Okay.
See, one, because I was writing it throughout the pandemic. So that saved me from a lot of frustration. One. And I was writing it alone. Normally in a web series,
Okay.
there will be 2 or 3 or 4
yeah.
writers. So there would be a broader story and a screenplay and then dialogues.
Correct.
I was doing all 3 things.
Simultaneously.
So I was the only writer. So it was a lonely process at times, but it was a beautiful process.
Certainly.
It's like writing a novel.
Okay.
Yeah, it's more like writing a novel where you can explore worlds, go deep, and stay there for a bit.
Hello everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Yash Desai Podcast. So today's episode is going to be very special because I have somebody who is an amazing personality, with me to curate this episode further. But to give you a brief about him, we're going to talk about, writing. Writing is just not an art, is what I feel. It is more than that. Because once you categorize writing as an art, what you do is कि okay, artistic चीज है और तुमने वो एक art categorize कर दिया. But for me, writing is a process. I have learned this because writing my own songs of lately, doing my original songs, writing couple of things, giving that right emotion and then composing it and putting my feelings into it. That has been a different ball game altogether, which I have learned after writing couple of my songs. But again, writing songs, writing web series, writing dramas, writing movies, and a bunch of things. The guest we have today, he has done it all. He has written poems to start with. He has done amazing dramas. He has done some phenomenal movies. He has worked with some ace directors and of course legends like Amitabh Bachchan and Rishi Kapoor ji. He is a legend in himself, is what we call him in Gujarat. He is a legendary writer and you guys know him as Saumya Joshi. Hi Saumya bhai.
Kem je bhai?
All good, bhai. Thank you so much for...
Thank you for this introduction. I'm very happy. Flattered.
Thank you so much. I am so glad you are here for the podcast after, after a time settlement of a lot of dates. We were trying to, put all things together.
Correct.
But I'm glad things came up.
Actually, we opened our play Welcome Zindagi in Hindi.
You talked about it,
yes. It had done like 900 shows in Gujarati.
Yes.
And that's why we were fighting our muscle memory.
Correct.
So, કારણ કે એવું થતું હતું કે we would હિન્દીની અંદર જ અમે ગુજરાતી બોલી જઈશું. So, because there were so many shows. So, we worked very hard for that. And in the middle of that, you were calling. So, I said, "Ke yaar, aap pati jao do ek baar."
No, but I'm glad. I saw a couple of your posts from, and I think you guys opened it at NSD or along with NSD.
We opened it in Kamani. That was the closing ceremony of the NSD Bharangam Festival.
Okay.
So that's the national international festival of the NSD.
Correct.
And we closed the Delhi unit of it.
Oh, okay. Makes sense. Welcome Zindagi is one of the best plays that we as Gujarati audience have watched.
Correct. I agree.
Even I agree, and I think everybody from the crew member also agrees to it. But Welcome Zindagi, you have written after so many plays, like a bunch of experience also counts. I had an internal discussion regarding a poem that you have written when you were in 5th standard. One of your cousins told me. So for the reference, I can say Saumya bhai is cousin to my brother-in-law's mother. So she told me that when you were in 5th standard, you written this poem Padio about...
So that would be lots of inside stories then. Lots of inside stories.
I've only got one today, so we can certainly talk about that on the podcast. So, I mean, when she told me about that poem, so in 5th standard, you are, of course, a kid. And when you think of something like that, that I am a soldier, I have fought a war for my country, I'm happy. But I am not happy because maro padio nahi banda hai. like, I have not been martyred for my country. That is why he was feeling sad. I mean, for a 10-year-old, maybe you're in 5th standard, for a kid of a 5th standard to think that, to think, I mean, I don't know, I still get goosebumps, when I listen to that thing. But what was the thought process behind it?
See, first of all, let me tell you, family is a lovely thing. એટલા માટે કે આ મેં લખેલી, I wrote it in the 8th standard.
Oh, okay.
Or 8th or 9th standard. But family loves you so much કે એ લોકો ધીમે ધીમે એને નીચે લાવતા જાય. 5th in like, so yes. I don't know. I wrote my first poem when I was maybe 4 and we went to Kashmir.
Okay.
And it was a super poem. I said, it was in Marathi because I started speaking Marathi. My father is a Maharashtrian.
Okay.
My mother is a Gujarati. And my mother tongue is Gujarati because I write everything in Gujarati.
Correct.
But as a child, I learned both the languages simultaneously. Because I was living, my grandparents were living with us.
Oh, okay.
So we went to Kashmir and I don't remember having done this, but I wrote कि हिमालयाला लागली थंडी त्यानी घातली देवदाराची बंडी. So देवदार are pines.
Correct.
Pine trees. And I said कि हिमालयने ठंडी लागी એટલે એને દેવદાર વૃક્ષોની બંડી પહેરી. So my father was very happy. I'm saying this because after that, I kept writing these kinds of very sporadic things.
Correct.
Which my father thought were creative. My mother thought that there was some creativity there. And that's why they allowed unbelievable things. Like I was a very, very bad student.
Okay.
All throughout my school. Very bad student. In fact, in my school, some of my school friends still think that I'm dumb and somehow I'm still managing all this. So it was very bad. And both my parents are professors.
Yes.
So for them to have a kid in the family who is not doing well in studies at all and still not worrying much about it and let it be was an incredible thing. So I was a wanderer, I was a traveler, I was a rakadu in a real sense, and they allowed all that, and in turn I used to maybe give those creative sparks.
Okay.
So it was a very bumpy, very strange kind of a childhood or a school life that I had. But because they let me wander and let me be what I was, I made very strange friendships with people of different stratas. I was friends with a lot of people a middle class would not be friends with. એટલે અમારા ધોબીનો છોકરો. Then there was a basti right behind our house. I used to go there and be friends with those kids. So as a child, I saw a world that a normal middle class maybe would not see. And I think that is popping up in my heart through those years. And I owe that to my parents.
I think you have written a play. Of course, this is phenomenal to get an insight like this. Because for professors, if their child is not good academic wise, it's a big bummer for them.
Yeah.
But still allowing the kid as I think love, belief, and maybe they recognize your art way before than you did. Maybe. I don't know. But
I don't know. They just thought that ये नहीं हो रहा है यार, और कुछ तो कर लेगा. So that kind of a belief was there. And I think if it was something else, then I would have been a very average kind of a student. अगर मैंने धक्का मारा हो जो है मैंने, तो I would have been very mediocre. I would have managed, but very mediocre. But they let me fail and thought that these failures, and in turn whatever time I'm getting for myself roaming around in the world,
Correct.
would ultimately bring something unique out of me.
Definitely.
Yeah. So that was an incredible insight, and I can't thank them enough for that.
We can't thank enough because you have turned into this amazing writer. Yeah. I mean, to watch your plays, I think one thing that you talked about is that you were being friends with a lot of people from different stratas. Of course, one play you have written about United States of Padapod or Padanipod, right? That thing I think shows up in that the story of all this Ahmedabadi pole wala
Correct.
Influence that you have shown in that play.
Correct.
At the same time showing that modern society, the NRI kind of an approach about people looking forward for US visas or any other visas for that matter of fact, who want to go out and study.
Yeah, so that play is a great story because we completed shooting 102 Not Out film. And Jigna Vyas, who is an absolutely incredible actor, a very dear friend, who also happens to be my wife.
Yes.
She was assisting me in writing 102.
Okay.
So like for one full year, we were in the process of writing it and then shooting it. So वो जैसे ही खत्म हुआ, she said कि यार we have to do a play. I'm an actor. I want to do a play. So this was an old story that I had written. We turned it into a play, and we felt that it's a very intimate kind of a play where we should be talking with the audiences. So our previous plays were very successful. Welcome Zindagi was a great success.
Yes.
102 Not Out, then Aaj Jaane Ki Zid Na Karo. These were all very big proscenium plays. But we feel that there is no such thing as a higher or a lower platform.
Correct.
So lots of people said कि यार तुम लोग ये छोटी जगह पे कैसे कर सकते हो, इतनी बड़ी जगह पे successful होकर. We don't care about those things. So we started doing it in a place called Ouroboros, which is an intimate theater that allows an audience of 100, 110. And we thought that this is for our own, recreation, fun. Of course, we do it very seriously whenever we do a play. We are broadcasting ourselves, so we need to be very serious about it. But we thought, pacha show karisu. And then we started doing it. And we did about 100 shows straight. Almost 5 shows a week, because people just wanted to have more and more of it. And then despite of COVID, it will complete 300 shows now, because we were stopped by the, unfortunately, pandemic halted us all. But in spite of that, we'll be completing 300 shows. Now, your question was, of course, about the type of the world that play shows.
Yes.
So I think for a playwright or a dramatist, or for that matter, any writer, I feel that a writer should be an extremely sharp student of life. He should see, observe, experience different worlds.
Correct.
And he should have a worldview. That is also extremely important. That I, as a person, as a dramatist,
correct,
need to have a view of the world. And I should not be a kupamanduk.
Correct.
No. એ કુવામાં દેડકો કહીએ ને, એવું ન હોવું જોઈએ for a writer.
Correct.
કારણ કે એ લાઈફનો સ્ટડી is of extraordinary importance. and they should come naturally to you. It should not be like life of a writer should not be like a Reiki every day.
Yeah.
That you go, and deliberately try to study something that doesn't give you that. You should be interested in it. And I think that's what my writing comes from. That in my college days, I visited the Poles and saw that, these people live in a lot of hardships, but there's so much humor.
I've lived in one, by the way.
Yeah? Where?
I've been raised in Khadia.
Okay.
The
So
Raipur
that's the
Khadia
heart,
thing.
yeah.
As a proper Ahmedabadi
Correct.
culture, I've been raised in.
Right.
So, એ વસ્તુ એક છે અને તમે જે વાત કરી ને કે you said about a process of writing. I will take it as a process of writing.
Correct.
Because you talked about observing the world.
Yeah.
Now, when personally when I'm writing something, it's just not about me. Most of the writers, when they write something, be it a story, be it a biopic or whatever, it comes from a lot of observation.
Right.
So yes, you have observed that particular world in this world, and you have written that and narrated the same thing into the world.
Correct. So I saw that there's a lot of humor in it.
Correct.
So all my plays have humor, but they're not into quotes comedies, but they have a lot of
Yes.
humor. That is because life by humor change. There is very inherent natural humor in everyday life. You're also producing it and you're also capturing it.
Correct.
So you don't need to write jokes. In the context, there's a lot of humor in your everyday life. I'll give you an example. હું મુંબઈથી આવું, હવે તો અહીંયા ઘણો બધો આવું છું. I'm in Ahmedabad for at least 10 days a month. But between 2012 and 18, I didn't get enough of Ahmedabad, unfortunately. So I was missing it too much. But whenever I came, I used to I wanted to rush and do all the Ahmedabad activity. That is the pani puri and papada and mainly food and mostly food. So એવી રીતે હું એક પાણીપુરી વાળા ત્યાં પહેલા જ ગયો with a lot of thirst. અને 3-4 પાણીપુરી કાણી આવી, પડી જાય. મેં એને કીધું યાર શું કરે છે યાર, બધી પાણીપુરી કાણી આવે છે. He said તમારા નસીબ જ આજે કાણા છે, તો હું શું કરી શકું. Now this humor comes from a very common person.
Yeah, and
Common person, common incident. It's in everyday life, but it's an incredible line. So, you forget that and you laugh. And that's a business transaction has happened. There has been a problem in the business, but still the laughter is so, hitting that you forgive everything and laugh. So that's how life, I think, operates, and a writer's job is to capture that, basically.
Correct. Bunch of other plays that you have written, Welcome Zindagi, 1 or 2 Not Out, United States of Padanipur. Recent play that you have written is Mehta versus Mehta.
No, I've not written it.
Okay.
It's written by Harsh Shodhan. I produced it.
Oh, okay.
And it was written and directed by Harsh Shodhan.
Okay. That is also one very good story that I saw recently. You have also done a web series recently with Sony Live.
Yeah.
What is your take overall? Because that's a different process of writing. A web series needs a bit of lengthy writing. I feel you have more creative liberty there because it's an episodic series placed into different episodes and a longer version of telling a story. So what was the process and how did you come up with the idea?
Faadu was a great experience. Okay. See, one, because I was writing it throughout the pandemic, so that saved me from a lot of frustration. One, and I was writing it alone. Normally in a web series there will be 2 or 3 or 4 writers, so there would be a broader story and a screenplay and then dialogues.
Correct.
I was doing all 3 things
simultaneously.
So I was the only writer. So it was a lonely process at times, but it was a beautiful process.
Certainly.
It's like writing a novel.
Okay.
Yeah, it's more like writing a novel where you can explore worlds, go deep, and stay there for a bit. The challenge was that it was not meant to be a typical uh, series. No crime, no apparent thrill. Poetry was in the center.
Center of it.
So it was lovely to write those poems, and I'm extremely happy. It was lovely to write the dialogue, especially. And I'm so happy that, people have loved the dialogue so much that they are, quoting those lines and they're sending it to their friends. And yeah, so lots of dialogues are getting viral. So that's a great feeling. Portal is also extremely happy because they say the John Elia fans, the Rahat Indori fans, the Mushaira fans, and also people who want to see different kind of a show. Uh, Lots of women have come to the channel, come to Sony Live for Faadu, and they are extremely gratified एज एन ऑडियंस कि एक ऐसा भी शो आया है जो बिल्कुल ही अलग, बिल्कुल ही मुख्तलिफ बात करता है. सो दैट्स अ ग्रेट टेक अवे फ्रॉम द शो. आई एम ऑल्सो एक्सट्रीमली happy because Ashwini directed it, Ashwini Iyer Tiwari.
Correct.
So that take was also nice. Sony Live and Studio Next, they were amazing as producers because they gave me all the
creative liberty
that was required, and this was a very different show. So I'm extremely happy that so many people have liked it, and it will have a very long shelf life. Lots of people will return to it, and
that's what we call it. It's lovely. I saw the trailer. Sadly, I have not had enough time to watch the show. Probably I'll take some time out now and watch the show purposely. Again, you said it's a different show. It's a show, not a very generic kind of a story, generic kind of a direction again.
True.
Where because OTT also has that kind of phenomena where if one is doing this particular thing, one particular genre, everybody's following. It's there in like most of the...
I think Sony Live, that from that point of view also is a great great portal, because and lots of portals are realizing
Correct.
now that what you need is an audience which wants to see different things. अगर आपने वो दे दिया तो that would be a very loyal audience to your portal कि यार ये चीज तो सिर्फ यहीं पे देखने को मिलती है. So that now the portals want me to write similar subjects.
Okay.
यार यही लेके आओ, this is what is expected of you, that come up with something which is very different and very unique and very soft and maybe very different, maybe more dramatic, but in a different way, because it's again a story of a basti, and it was shot in a very dark Mumbai basti. And there's this span and different worlds that are not normally seen. I've seen them and wanted to sort of express those worlds. So this is what is expected of me now. So it's not like कितने लोगों ने देखा, कितना है इसका viewing, कितना है. That television TRP kind of a botheration is not there.
Correct. I hope the show reaches out to most of the audience. And I really wish for everybody who's listening to this podcast right now or watching this on YouTube, please go to Sony Live, download it, subscribe to it, and watch Faadu on Sony Live. You're gonna love it, and I'm sure you're gonna share all the quotes out of it. Do tag us if you watch the show and tell us how did you like it. So again, Saumya bhai, writing an OTT show, doing a film with a legend like Amitabh Bachchan and Rishi Kapoor ji, I mean, what was it like?
It was great. I don't know why this expression, but I've talked about it so much that I'm bored now. So that's why maybe. This was in 2017
Correct.
and 16, 17. And it was an absolutely incredible experience. I worked a lot more with Rishi ji
Okay.
and shooting with him because I was reading out scenes just before the shots.
Shots and all.
He wanted me to explain the character graph and the arcs, etc. So I spent a lot of time other than the sets
Okay.
with him at his home in his vanity with this great, incredible Peshawari food and incredibly Patiala pegs. And
Of course.
yeah, so it was an incredible, I mean, it was a very friendly, I might take that license and say that it was a very friendly relationship, lots of gullies, lots of galoch, but it was also coming from the heart and such a nice person, and I miss him too much. Very short 6 months, 7 month, unfortunately, relationship. After he was suffering from cancer, I went to see him in New York, and that was one of the finest evenings of my life because he has just recovered and took us all to me, Umeshi, the director of 102, took us all to a great restaurant and incredible person to work with. So yeah, and we realized that behind this, it was a 44 years in the industry, huge career, starting from Bobby to 102, and then his last film he unfortunately could not complete, and Paresh
ji did that movie. Some Namak.
Forgetting the बहुत अच्छी film थी वो भी, was a very sweet film and it was great on Paresh bhai's part. हाँ, शर्मा जी नमकीन, तो परेश भाई ने भी कमाल का परफॉर्मेंस करके एक अच्छी फिल्म वो बनी थी, nice tribute. But we realized that, behind this demeanor of being very casual, you're such a serious actor. Only that, can be a 44-year
long career behind
it. To maintain that and his second innings was so incredible. He always said that I'm enjoying this second innings much more.
He talked about a lot of characters that he did. He did a character of Rauf Lala.
Right.
I was scared. I was a kid when that movie released.
Yeah.
I was scared, and I've never seen him like that.
Yeah.
I've always imagined him in like movies like Curse and Bobby and Amar Akbar Anthony.
Right.
Those were my things of it. And watching Rauf Lala was altogether a different thing.
Correct.
Doing 102 Not Out. Seeing him in that particular role, of course, is a different experience. Totally different experience. And seeing him in his last film, of course, that was a different experience. Yeah. So again, the thing that you said, 44 years of experience, that's how it counts, man. I mean, that's exactly.
And it's also hard work.
Definitely.
It's hard work.
Definitely.
So it was a great experience working with him. Great fun working with him. If I might take that license, a relationship of some sort where he used to call. And so yeah, as I said, I miss him too much. Bachchan sir ka alag tha ki this film would not have happened if he had not said yes.
Okay.
Obviously. So because we needed one, star, and this was a film about old people. So all the narrations were very tense till he agreed. So he loved the subject. Me and Umesh narrated him the one line of 102 Not Out, which is obviously very exciting, and he loved it. And he said, now develop it or narrate it in me like 15-20 minutes. So we had a shorter narration that I prepared and narrated it to him. And then he said that I want a full narration of the entire film now.
Okay.
So I went back to my desk and wrote it for about 3-4 months. And then there was a full 3.5 hour narration at his office. And that was incredible because obviously there was nervousness, this tension. अमिताभ बच्चन के साथ ये होता है कि you also can't tell him कि सर आपकी वो फिल्म बहुत अच्छी थी. It's not about one film. It's Mr. Bachchan.
It's an era altogether.
It's an era. So you can't praise him also. कुछ नहीं कर सकते. तो but I'm from theatre. So once I started reading, I was like full-fledged एक reading हुआ. और उसमें I got a sense that in like 15-20 minutes, he was listening as if that character is listening to the script.
Yeah.
So हमको अंदर से पता चल गया कि हाँ तो हो गई अभी से because he was already thinking
He was into it.
ये मैं कैसे करने वाला हूँ.
Yeah.
And then of course he is an extraordinary professional. वो हमेशा बोलते हैं मैं तो गुदड़ी का लालू. That means he has a very simple, very basic vanity, very no umbrellas, nothing. He wants to be a worker all the time. That is the main thing. The way in which he dubbed the film was an incredible experience. Most of the time he doesn't even see the screen. उनको पता होता है मैंने ये dialogue कैसे deliver किया है. And that he would deliver and enhance. So it was a great learning. Formal relationship, but working relation, but देखने the way in which he prepares. And there were long scenes because 102 we were very clear that it's a play and the theatre elements will be there in the film also. So there were very long scenes. So both of them sitting and speaking those very long scenes in single takes was absolutely amazing.
So again, speaking about the film 102, not out the film and the play, you would of course be having different approach in writing both the things. The story might be similar, but the process of writing, because one is a film, one is a play. Yeah. So another thing that I was very keen on asking you is, when you write something as a writer, what exactly is it that you keep in mind when you write a movie, when you write a drama, or you write a song?
See, movie and drama are very similar because you are a storyteller. You are telling a story on different platforms. One is an audio visual live platform.
Correct.
And second is again an audio visual platform. You can depend more on visuals in that platform than in theatre. Theatre is a little more audio side because there'll be distance. So you cannot focus on smaller objects much. So from that point of view, then of course locales and all, that way theatre and films are coming even closer after the invention of the lapels. Like in Welcome Zindagi, if you see the play, it's a very film-like play because हम अभी जैसे बोल रहे हैं वैसे ही उसमें बातें होती है. पहले का थिएटर नहीं है कि जोर से बोला, बिग एक्शंस, वो सब नहीं है. तो एक तो वो वैसे ही कम हो रहा है टेक्निकली. Yeah. The only thing is that theatre would permit longer scenes. I don't know the reason, but theatre audiences would watch longer scenes, would watch speeches and soliloquies, which would be in a film. You have to be a little aware of that. लेकिन मुझे ये लगता है कि अल्टीमेटली तो कहानी बोल रहे हो और कहानी communicate करना is the key.
Correct.
Both in films and in theatre.
फिल्म्स में ना सर एक जैसे कि फिल्म्स में एक और चीज़ें ऐड होगी अपार्ट फ्रॉम ड्रामास, दोज आर सॉन्ग्स. अभी कोई गाना लिखना मैं जानता हूँ डिफिकल्ट है, for a newbie like me, you have been into this business. What do you feel about writing a song?
So I must tell you that theatre has an incredible tradition of music.
Yes.
So मेरे पहले वाले plays सारे दोस्त चौका सही नगर वस्तु अतु, then some of the one acts that I wrote were all musicals.
Yes.
उसमें भी songs थे. So yes, movies like 102 has one song in the film and then one promotional. I wrote both the songs. वो कोई हिल्लारो जितना पॉपुलर नहीं हुआ songs, लेकिन yeah, so there was film के अंदर के लिए there were two songs, but I write lyrics, especially the process of Hellaro, and I
Correct.
write poetry. So when I write personal poems, which are poems, the big difference is that you write poetry for one reader.
Yes.
And that is yourself, the first reader. You
Correct.
write a poem and you write it for yourself कि यार ये चीजें मुझे एक्सप्रेस करनी ही है. This is something in me which wants to be released, and वो रिलीज का एक रिलीफ मिलता है. That is a poem. फिर औरों को अच्छी लगी नहीं लगी, that is not my concern.
Correct.
फिल्म में और नाटक में ये नहीं होता. You have an audience in view, that you are aware that we have to please the audience. We have to entertain them. Of course, I never cater to them in my art. I do art that I want to do, but I'm aware that I have to grip them. They have to be engaged. जब आप पोएट्री लिख रहे हो पर्सनल, तभी ये टेंशन नहीं होता. You're writing it for yourself. Then of course after completing you want to read it out to your best friend and your wife, and वो अर्ज बाद में होती है. वो अर्ज बाद में होती है. अभी तो मैंने पोएम लिख दी तो the whole world I want to listen to that poem, but that is not the urge when you're writing it. You're writing it for your own self. Whereas in both in theatre and in films, you have an audience in view, and that's why there is a lot of craft
that goes
behind it. That's the main difference.
That's
और जो गाने हम फिल्मों के लिए लिखते हैं, जैसा मैंने हिल्लारो में लिखा, तो उसमें क्या होता है, उसमें बीच का प्रोसेस होता है कि you are aware that this is the film, this is the situation, and I'm writing a song for this particular situation. But that situation and then that song, if it doesn't come out of my personality, then it would not capture the imagination of the people. So उसमें दोनों चीजें हैं. एक अवेयरनेस भी है ऑडियंस की, और एक अपनी पर्सनालिटी भी अंदर आनी ही चाहिए. ये दोनों का मिक्सर होके फिल्म के सॉन्ग्स बनते.
करेक्ट.
या बनते थे. जो साहिर साहब ने लिखे, जो शैलेंद्र ने लिखा, जो गुलजार ने लिखा, जो टू एन एक्सटेंट जावेद साहब ने लिखा. वो ये होता है कि एक फिल्म के लिए भी सिचुएशन होती है, लेकिन एक बहुत ही पर्सनल चीज भी होती है. उन दोनों के अमालगमेशन में से आता है.
आप डू यू बिलीव, या आप क्या आपका ये मानना है कि आजकल वो जो एरा था, लाइक एक लास्ट पॉडकास्ट में हम लोगों ने ये भी बात करी थी पर्सनली मैंने, कि वो एक एरा था, गोल्डन एरा, जिसको मैं मानता हूँ कि जो भी गाना लिखा जाता था उतना ब्यूटीफुल मीनिंग होता था, उतना ब्यूटीफुल कॉम्पोजिशन होता था कि आज तक जो मेरे दादा के ज़माने में गाने लिखे थे वो आज तक लोग सुन रहे हैं, या आज लोग काफ़ी उसको रिमिक्स करके बेच रहे हैं. इफ ऑल द कमर्शियल थिंग्स डज मैटर, पर वो एक ब्यूटी था सॉन्ग का, जो आजकल के गानों में मुझे एटलीस्ट कभी कहीं ना कहीं मिसिंग लगता है.
हाँ, वो टैलेंट भी इम्पोर्टेंट होती है. सो दोज वेर मास्टर्स. Sahir Saab, Shailendra, Majru, those were all, mighty poets who were writing songs for the films. दूसरा ये है कि एक फिल्म में 8-9 गाने होते थे. तो एक ये भी है कि गाना, used to be a very, very important part of a film.
हाँ
8 songs, 9 songs, one composer, one lyricist, 2
टू
singers,
सिंगर्स
and
प्लेबैक कर रहे हैं
और
Storytelling.
तो स्टोरी टेलिंग उसके माध्यम से होता था.
करेक्ट
So obviously the focus also was more on lyrics and music and because songs brought people.
करेक्ट
तो ये भी थोड़ा कम हुआ है, उसकी वजह से भी ये हो सकता है. I think it's natural, but I think there is still a lot of scope for great lyrics, great writing. I'm dying to write more lyrics.
So talking about the same thing, like lyrics and the beauty of a composition, I have this thing in mind because I've been raised into that particular music जो आजकल मुझको ऑफ कोर्स मिसिंग लगता है. तो मैंने जो भी गाने लिखे हैं सो फार, हम लोगों ने 2 गाने रिलीज करे, बाकी प्रोडक्शन में है. पहला मेरा गाना हिंदी था जिसको हमने नाम दिया हौसला. Now that song talks about what you do when you follow your passion, what you when you are at the lowest moment in your life, you are not going to get anything below than this, and that's how you bounce back, chase your dreams, achieve your goals. That was what the song about. Uska mein, I would like to have a review of that song from you. I've been very blunt like
No,
that,
sure.
but
It would be great fun.
so yeah, it's something from a new writer. Of course, I'm a
Perspective.
newbie. A new perspective to it. So the main line of the song, उसका ट्यून मेरे दिमाग में था 2-3 साल पहले से. जब ये रिलीज हुआ तो मेरे को था कि ये ट्यून पे मैं कुछ ना कुछ कंपोज या कुछ ना कुछ लिखूंगा. सो जब मैंने वो गाना लिखा, फर्स्ट वर्ड दैट केम टू माई माइंड वाज हौसला. और जैसे मैं एक प्रोसेस फॉलो करता गया, चीज़ें स्ट्राइक होती रही, तो एक लाइन जो मैंने कंपोज की वो दैट वाज ये हौसला देख तुझको कहाँ ले जाएगा, कहाँ ले जाएगा, कहाँ ले जाएगा, कहाँ ले जाएगा ये हौसला देख तुझको कहाँ ले जाएगा. So that was what
Beautiful.
the idea was.
Lovely.
It.
Lovely. I'm so glad that tune भी बहुत कमाल की बनी है.
हाँ.
It's a beautiful song, and as you rightly said that it's a lovely subject, and at your age you would go through those patches of lows,
Yeah.
and Hausla is one thing, and also there should be, and maybe your song ahead would be talking about it. Lots of people say that one should follow one's passion.
Correct.
अभी ये भी एक फैशन हो गया.
हाँ.
तो उसमें 3 चीजें होती है. एक बाइक लेके लद्दाख जाओ, एक गिटार बजाओ और एक शॉर्ट फिल्म बनाओ.
शॉर्ट फिल्म बनाओ.
हाँ?
करेक्ट.
तो सब पूरी दुनिया ये करने लगी. So then it's not a passion. You have to discover it कि आपके अंदर
क्या है.
So that is, I think, very important. And your song, जो भी हमने अभी सुना, I'll of course listen to it, is indicating that core of your heart where you wants to reach out, and then वो हौसला अपने आप आ जाता है अगर आप एक शिद्दत से पैशन को फॉलो कर रहे हो जो आपकी सही में पैशन है.
जैसे ये गाने का स्टार्टिंग है, इट्स एन एडलिब जो स्टार्ट में हम लोगों ने करा था, व्हिच सेज रुकना मना है, झुकना मना है, हारना जायज है पर हारना मना है.
ब्यूटीफुल, लवली लाइंस,
so
सुपर. क्या बात है.
मेरे दिमाग में आया था, दैट्स हाउ माय सॉन्ग शुड स्टार्ट, एंड देन द मेन लाइन कम्स इन. देन इट्स अ प्रोसेस टॉकिंग अबाउट कि भाई तू टूटेगा,
रुकना मना है, झुकना मना है, हारना जायज है पर हारना मना है. ब्यूटीफुल, लवली. क्या बात है.
सो वो एक, आई डोंट नो, मैं एक ही था, मतलब एक ड्राफ्ट लिखा, कैंसिल करा, दूसरा लिखा, कैंसिल करा, कितने ड्राफ्ट्स के बाद एक लेयर्स. फॉर अ न्यूबी लाइक मी, मैंने फॉलो किया. मुझे नहीं पता कि सॉन्ग का राइटिंग का प्रोसेस क्या होता है. आई हैव नेवर फॉर्मली स्टडीड सॉन्ग राइटिंग.
You should study it because I'll tell you why. Because meters and rhythms and it will help you a lot.
Yeah, the musical part I have, the formal training I have
even
taken.
the meters by meters I mean the poetry meters.
Okay.
कविता के जो मीटर्स होते हैं उसका जो म्यूजिक होता है उसकी एक फॉर्मल ट्रेनिंग ये ही शायद फर्क है दैट यू नो the Sahirs and the Shailendras and the Majroos had an incredible command over the music of lyrics. तो वो एक because you're so young, I think ये पढ़ना चाहिए. This you should, and it's not a very difficult thing. If you're enjoying poetry, just by listening to it, just by reading Ghalib, just by reading Mariz, a great Gujarati poet, just by reading Ramesh Parekh.
I used to read a lot of Jhavechand Meghani.
Yeah, just by reading Jhavechand Meghani.
Yeah. I'll tell you why, because when I was a kid, we had a farm in Gir, and there is a lot of culture, like Morbani Thangat Kare. Before it came to Ram Leela, it was being played across the folk music culture in Gujarat. There is this beautiful story of Charan Kanya, the thing that he has written.
Great music again.
Great music. So when I listened to that, I was, I think, maybe in my 6th or 7th standard. That thing got on to me, you know, and I think I narrated those poems and everything in my school, and then I started knowing more about this poet.
Right.
That's when, you know, thing came in, like mixing the folk culture with
करेक्ट और फोक का तो हमारा कमाल का एक अंदर का एक अपना म्यूजिक है. फोक तो गुजराती फोक इज इन्फिनिट, इट्स इनक्रेडिबल. और उसमें से छंद मीटर्स ये सब लेके बहुत लोगों ने बहुत कमाल का काम किया है. मतलब ऐसी पोएट्री है जिसको म्यूजिक की कभी कभी जरूरत भी नहीं है.
हाँ.
जैसे रमेश पारे के यू नो एक लंबा छंद, एक लंबा लय चलता है. याद નથી હું પવન પાવડી પહેરી કોઈ ઝરૂખે મિનલોચન ઝરતી પ્રવાલ દ્વીપની કન્યાનું મનહરવા ભમ્મર 5-7 દરિયાઓ ભમ્મર 5-7 પાતાળો ભમ્મર 5-7 અવતારો વીંધ્યો હોઉં. યાદ નથી હું સિંદુરીની સિંદુરવીની આંગળીઓના કંકણવંતા સ્પર્શ સોંસરી કંકણવંતા હાથ સોંસરી લોહી સોંસરી જીવ સોંસરી હરતી ફરતી વીર ગતિમાં હોઉં. So there is incredible rhythm in it.
Correct.
And I think the lyricists, the poets, those who write for the films should, out of interest, not out of, you know, the काम है इसलिए नहीं, पर should out of interest explore all this, and it would be so helpful. I think that all the, you know, aspiring lyricists should read a lot of poems from their own language. Like Gujarati is an incredibly rich poetry.
Correct.
You mentioned Meghani, I mentioned Ramesh Parekh, Sitanshu Yashaschandra, Saumya Joshi. A lot of great poets.
Of course. one thing જે છે ને મારે તમને પૂછવી હતી, જ્યારે એક ઘરમાં 2 રાઇટર્સ હોય ને તો ઘણું બધું ઇન્સ્પિરેશન હોય. To translate that into English, when a house has 2 writers, there is a lot of inspiration.
Yeah.
What is the source of inspiration to you from your brother, who is an amazing writer, writing movies and a lot of things?
Yeah. So, it's a great source of inspiration, but the inspiration part stops at being brothers. We both, I think, as brothers inspire each other, and we are very close. Our styles are very different, and I don't think we have time to explain that. But I have learned a lot of things in technique from him. He's my elder brother.
Yes.
And he's like an ISI approved yeah, so mark for me that all my scripts
is he blunt to you? Like if
we are both very blunt to each other, because, you know, blunt is the least that you can do.
Do.
When there's a work of art and it needs to be, that it's going to be broadcast. It's very important to be very, very, very blunt, and that's not a problem at all. But I think the zeal and energy that he has as a writer is mind-boggling. Like, he's writing a film right now, which is going to be his directorial debut.
Yeah, you talked about
in
that.
the same production, Rajkumar Irani production. So this would be his, directorial venture. He has been writing it for 3 years.
Okay.
It is his story. I am also involved in the process of writing. I've done some parts of screenplay, but mainly in dialogues and lyrics. It is the 307th draft that we are on right now.
Are you kidding me? That's a lot.
And you won't believe, but it's a 2-hour film. 600 minutes. A day. 2 hour is like, 120 minutes.
Yes.
More than that, maybe a little more.
60 plus 60.
Yeah.
120 minutes.
We have read every draft at least thrice, line to line. Like, if you change a line on the 70th page,
you start from the
first word and go. And that's how you catch the problems in the script, and you solve them. So and I get bored and tired of this, and there's a lot of struggle, but it's an incredibly enriching process. He never gets tired of this. He loves this. He absolutely loves this. So cinema writing is not always enjoyable.
Yeah.
Even theater that way, because there's a lot of craft involved in it. But there's two people who I think really enjoyed is our Rajkumar Irani and Abhijat Joshi.
That's the reason.
Slogging is what they enjoy. It's labor. It's pasina.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that thing shows in their work. That thing does, definitely.
Absolutely.
I mean,
उनको बहुत मजा आता है. हम भी ये कर लेते हैं, लेकिन हमको मजा नहीं आता कि यार टॉयल है, लेबर है, इसमें अभी करना तो है ऑडियंस के लिए, लेकिन इसमें मजा नहीं है. हम भी कर लेते, तो उनको मजा आता है.
उनके लिए वो एक हौसला है सर.
उनके लिए वो हौसला है, वो स्पिरिचुअलिज्म है उनका.
Correct.
Incredible. That is very inspiring.
Of course,
and
it
frustrating.
is. Of course it is.
And frustrating. कि यार ये नहीं पहुंच सकते.
We'll take a good word from that. We'll take inspiration वाला जो word था. I have noticed one pattern in all of your dramas, which I have seen. Most of them, you kind of connect that drama to a Hindi old song.
Yeah, because I love them.
Yeah. So there is this segment on the podcast where I always ask my guests that what is that one song that motivates them to keep going?
There's no one song, but that era पूरा 30 साल 50s से 80s 50s थोड़ा मेरे को अभी डेटेड लगने लगा है, लेकिन 60s से 85 तक का लता जी when she was at her full-throated ease, and those great masters Rafi Saab, Kishore Kumar, and of course the music directors and the lyricists,
everything combined. Yes.
everything. वो इतना इंटीग्रल पार्ट है मेरे एग्जिस्टेंस का.
That's the kick you get.
That's वो अपने आप आ जाता है. That's how there are certain things that a person loves so much कि वो आएगा ही आएगा. तो ये होता है, प्लेज में भी होता है, फिल्म्स में भी होता है. लाइक 102 में भी गाना था जिंदगी मेरे घराना.
हाँ.
तो फिल्म में भी वो
दिखाया है.
So it's a recurrent
process.
Yeah. something that you love very much will reflect in your
Correct.
art.
So of course, I mean that's a different process. वो time के गाने, वो time के artist काफी inspirational है. मुझे भी देता है, आपको देता है, मैं भी जब उनको सुनता हूँ.
It's timeless.
It's timeless. और जब मैं छोटा था मुझे लगता था ये क्या boring चीज है. But when I listen to Mehndi Hasan साहब का गजल, when I listen to very recently Jagjit Singh, I mean is from a different era altogether, but होश वालों को खबर क्या, बेखुदी क्या चीज़ है. When you listen all those things, that reflects into my music now. जो भी मैं नए projects पे काम करने वाला हूँ या कर रहा हूँ, so वो एक inspiration मुझे मिलता है. Talking about working on projects, I am going to be very blunt about asking you, can you write a song for me, sir? In future, not now.
Sure. I would love to write songs, more songs. And I always tell people, यार ये गाने लिखवाओ यार, वो गाने लिखने में बहुत मजा आता है. It's just great fun. So any day, any time, just call me.
We have it on.
તે ફોન કર્યો ને આ ઇન્ટરવ્યુ થતા જેટલો ટાઈમ ગયો એટલા ટાઈમમાં લખી દઈશ.
That is pretty soon. Let me tell you. So definitely, sir.
You know, Anand Bakshi used to write songs as he was listening to the narrations.
Okay, the movie narrations.
सुनते सुनते.
Okay.
एक तरफ सुन रहे, दूसरी तरफ लिख रहे.
Different process. So inspirational. मैं कीधु ना, like I said, a time ना artist, वो टाइम के आर्टिस्ट, वो टाइम के लोग, they are different people altogether. It's only worth taking inspiration from.
No, my series Faadu, it starts with this. आनंद बख्शी का एक शेर है, मैं कोई बर्फ नहीं हूं कि पिघल जाऊंगा, मैं कोई हर्फ नहीं हूं कि बदल जाऊंगा, मैं जादू हूं, जादू, मैं चल जाऊंगा.
क्या बात है सर, क्या बात है सर. आई होप कि ये आपका ये जादू हमारे पॉडकास्ट में भी थोड़ा चल जाए और लोगों की जिंदगी में पूरा एक कहते हैं ना जादू चल जाए. और जो भी ये पॉडकास्ट सुन रहा है आज, उनको वो एक लर्निंग जो मैं हमेशा बोलता हूँ कि एक एपिसोड में से आप लेके जाओ, वो आज उन लोगों को मिला हो इन टर्म्स ऑफ राइटिंग, और लोगों ने एंजॉय करा हो. यार नहीं,
लर्निंग तो ठीक है यार, मैं कोई सिखा तो नहीं सकता, लेकिन मजा बहुत आया बातें करने में.
डेफिनेटली सर, मुझे ज्यादा मजा आया. मुझे एक प्रोसेस, एक परसेप्शन जानने को मिला राइटिंग के बारे में, जो मुझे हेल्प करेगा शायद जो मेरे खुद के सॉन्ग्स में लिख रहा हूँ उस चीज में. एंड ऑफ कोर्स एक आपका परसेप्शन कमिंग विद सो मच एक्सपीरियंस ऑन इन द गेम रादर, दैट सर्टेनली इज इंस्पायरिंग फॉर मी, एंड आई एम लुकिंग फॉरवर्ड टू वॉचिंग more movies, web series, dramas and songs.
यार हमारा एक्चुअली क्रिकेट में जो बैट्समैन का होता है ना, वो होता है एक्सपीरियंस कुछ नहीं होता. वी हैव टू स्टार्ट फ्रॉम जीरो एवरी इनिंग्स.
Yeah,
that's what the experience
and that's why they say 102 not out.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for being on the show.
Great being here. Thank you.
I've enjoyed this episode like anything.
Pleasure.
And all the people who's watching this episode, please go and share it with your friends and have fun. I'll see you in the next episode with another guest of mine with another subject. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for listening to this podcast. Do subscribe the channel and share it with your friends and family. You can stream all the episodes now on all the major streaming services. See you in the next episode.